Good afternoon.
Hello.
Could you please describe to us what a typical day in your job would be like?
Wow. I don't think there's such a thing as typical in what I do, really. Sometimes I do absolutely nothing because there is no work. Because when you're freelance, it's always famine or feast. You've either got too much work or not enough work.
Right.
It never seems to be quite just right. So it depends. Let's assuming it's a reasonably busy day. Um, Whenever I'm actually I'm working for people. I write music for people. So I'm always talking to them to find out if they like what I've done, if they can give me any more information on what else they want doing, if they want any extra music, if it's too long, too short, too loud, too quiet, whatever. So there's a lot of dialogues. I'm always talking to my clients about the music as well as writing it. And that's quite an important thing to do. You've got more chance of getting it right if you're doing what they've asked you to do rather than what you think you should do.
When you're composing, when you begin starting work on something, so obviously you've said that you talk to them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do you start? I mean, we noticed that you primary instrument is the keyboard. Do you go and start playing on the keyboard, or what's your process?
Yeah, I mean, if they've got any visuals, the first thing I'll do is sit and watch what they've got, or look at what they've got, or read the script. So get an idea, whatever they can give me, I'll look at that. And then at that point, I'll say, okay, I've got an idea what they want to do. Let's have a go. Start playing and see what happens. And it's literally see what comes out, basically like that. And then sometimes nothing will come out. Sometimes it will be rubbish. And sometimes you think, oh, actually, that could work. So you record a bit and then maybe send it to him. Say, is this the sort of thing you want? And then you've got to sort of say, okay, it may be on piano at the moment. It can be on anything. It can sound like anything. It's just the general feel of it. So you're always explaining what you're doing.
So if they like what you've done for them, you'll talk to them and develop it more. And
Exactly, yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And certainly in, say, a documentary, there's going to be lots of different styles, maybe, exciting bits, quiet bits, happy bits, sad bits, whatever. So you're doing different sorts of music for different parts of it. So it's always very important to actually talk to them about that. And maybe they want a theme going all the way through. Maybe they want it to be completely different. I mean, it depends what they're trying to get over.
What aspects of your job do you enjoy the most?
Starting a job is always quite exciting. So it's the first time you sit down and say, I wonder what I'm going to hear. I wonder what's going to come out of this brain of mine, because you don't really know. It just sort of pops in from somewhere. And so that's quite exciting. The other thing, especially with things like theatre, is actually seeing it in a theatre. And that's terribly exciting. Really, a bit scary first night, but it's very exciting. And it's never the same twice, because you've got an audience in there and they laugh and they clap and things take longer and shorter and that sort of thing. So it's always different.
With your job being as creative as it is, I mean, you said sometimes that, you know, you may get a project and you may not feel inspired by it. How do you work through that?
There's always something called the deadline.
Oh, yes.
So it actually has to be finished by, whatever you've written has to be finished by a certain time, because that's when it's needed by. So the closer you get to that, the more you concentrate your mind and eventually say, well, I've just got to do something. So I just go out and do it, whatever, do anything. And then as soon as you've done something, then you've started and then off you go.
We noticed that you work in children's television. We were wondering if there's any kind of specific techniques that you use to capture their attention as opposed to adult attention.
Depends on how old the children are, I suppose. Some of the stuff I've done has been for very young children. And then you really do have to repeat, because it's like a nursery rhyme, it's over and over again, and it's what drives parents mad, but it's kind of what you have to do. It drives the composer mad as well, I can tell you, but that's part of the job. And also keeping the words simple, keeping it fun. I mean, kids get the idea of fun. You make funny, amusing songs, and kids will get it, and kids will laugh, surprisingly, all the time, which is great. And it's lovely doing stuff like that. And it's lovely doing children's theatre is even better, because you sit in a room full of kids watching a show with your music, and that's brilliant. And if they laugh and get scared and that sort of thing in all the right places, it's nothing better.
And I guess our final question really would be, what's your favourite genre to work in?
My favourite genre is the genre I'm working in at the moment, whichever that one would be. Because the one thing I think is very important, and it's a very important point, is it would be no point in me saying I only write country and western, for instance, because I wouldn't get much work. Even if I loved country and western, that's why I wanted to write all the time, which is not, I don't, but that's an example. But what I tend to do is listen to as much music as possible and learn as many different styles of music as possible. So if anyone says to me, can you write jazz? Yes. Can you write folk? Yes. Can you write classical? Yes. And so on, as much as possible. Just get more chance of getting work. And you don't get bored. It's much more fun. Even learn the things that you don't like. Because actually, if you listen to a piece of music you don't like and analyse it, you'll like it a bit more after that, and you can see how clever it is.
Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.